So we got a good taste of documents and media and these document types. Let's take a look and see what are some other ways that we are able to better add some keywords. We touched upon this earlier. We have these things called tags. Now, in the technical industry standard world, we define tags as folksonomy. The whole idea behind the term folksonomy is that we are allowing the masses or the users or the people to add whatever keywords or tags that they want to whatever assets we make available to them or we allow them to create. So in the real world, we interact with tags most of the time. If you're in the social media realm, tags are analogous to hashtags, right? We know that in social media hashtags, right, if you hashtag something and you select that tag, it'll show you everything with that specific hashtag. In Liferay, the same functionality is here, right? If I am uploading or creating a specific asset and I want to add some keywords to that asset, I can using Liferay tags. Of course, in the enterprise, we're going to make this more serious than what we see over in the social media realm. So tags are a user-driven way to add keywords or metadata to the assets that they are creating. We can then use those tags to better find, search, and sort through various assets with those same tags. We have these things called categories as well. Categories are a taxonomy. The taxonomy idea is just a way of classifying things, generally speaking. In the Liferay world, we differentiate taxonomy or tags and categories by who is controlling them. As we mentioned in the tags are user-driven. So whenever a user is creating an asset, they can add whatever tags they want. Categories, on the other hand, are administrator-driven. So the admin is the one who is creating these categories. And then as I am creating an asset or an everyday user is creating an asset, they only have the categories that are made available to them from the admin. So the question that comes up a lot is tags, categories, what's the difference? How do I use them together? Do I even use them together? So the main difference starts off with who's making them. Categories, admins make them. Tags, users make them. Generally speaking, categories are usually more broad or more overarching, while tags are more specific. Again, back over to the example of music, for instance, we know in the music world, there are these big overarching genres, things like, R&B, hip hop, EDM, rock and roll, and so on, right? All of these big sweeping genres can be considered things like categories. Now, when you drill into a specific category, if you want to play the game even further, you can have subcategories and so on and so forth. But maybe there's like specific key aspects of a song that is either unique to the song or may not be such a broad category. That's where tags can come in. So generally speaking, categories are more broad, more general. Tags are more specific. So let's take a look here. We're going to be seeing what the category creation is going to look like. It's going to be 2 steps. The first part is we need to create, or in this case, import, this thing called a vocabulary. A vocabulary is just a container that stores all of our categories. So an analogy here is the vocabulary is a folder for the categories. So you're going to store your categories inside a vocabulary. These sound so similar, sometimes I get them confused. So vocabulary is the storage place for our categories. From there, we're going to start adding those categories to some of the documents that we have, right? We have employee records. We also have a number of folders, and we're going to be creating some folders as well. So we're going to be playing with categories and see how we're able to apply them to some of the documents that we either have or we're going to have later on. So with all of that, once we finish that, we're going to have a good structure, a good launching point for our documents and media for our digital asset management. We're going to have folders. We're going to have documents within those folders. We're then going to have these keywords or these categories and tags attached to the documents that we uploaded. So pretty good place, pretty good structure, pretty good example. Now let's take a look at the summary. Let's wrap this up. So tags are folksonomy. They are user defined. So the user is the one who is going to be applying tags to what they create. Categories are metadata with an organizational structure. And categories can have subcategories and so on and so forth. Categories are taxonomy. They have a clear and defined hierarchical structure. And again, categories are defined by the administrator. And then finally, in order to better organize the categories, we're going to use these things called vocabularies. So the story so far, we have content within Liferay. We have a lot of different types of content. We classify those as assets. Assets run in Liferay's asset framework, and assets have a couple of commonalities amongst them that we've talked about. We honed in more specifically on a specific type of asset, taking a look at digital asset management in Liferay's documents and media, and how we're able to add metadata or keywords or additional info to our documents. So very good. This wraps it up for this section here. This is my goodbye to you guys, right? I hope you've learned a lot so far. We're going to be passing it over to Brandon, and he's going to be taking us home. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video.